So if we transform Henrika here, and we get in with everything, they have to block the wizard, the throng, and one of the flyers, and theoretically we can use Henrika's ability to pump the rest of them to get in for 10. Let's see, so they blocked as normal, we go in, activate Henrika, we get in for 10, because they can't block the rest. Certainly some unique lines there for the victory. Hello Daily Drafters, today is Friday, January 21st, and thanks for joining me for today's Daily Draft. As we get into the draft here, I'd like to give a big thank you to all those in the subscriber community for choosing to spend a part of your day here with me. And for those of you that aren't subscribed yet, go ahead and click that red subscribe button either attached or underneath this video. Remember, it's absolutely free, will never cost you a dime, and you will then have access to the most consistent, high-quality MTG Limited content on YouTube. Looky there. We got another Dreadface Demon. I feel like we just had this in like 2 drafts ago or something, and it was kind of nuts when we were able to build around it in the first pack. On the channel, we're still 6-9 with Dreadface Demon in our deck. So maybe this is the deck that we kind of get above 500 with Dreadface Demon, but we're going to take it because it's probably one of the biggest bombs in the set. If this weren't here, I think I'd probably take Parasitic Grasp. I've mentioned on the channel before how much I don't like drafting black, especially early in this format, because we usually get pushed off of it pretty quickly. But honestly, the best common here is maybe Fierce Retribution, and I'm not even super high on that card necessarily. So I think it'd still be Parasitic Grasp, but we're definitely taking Dreadface Demon here. And because we started with Dreadface Demon, I guess we'll follow it up with the Parasitic Grasp that's in this pack. Yeah, seems pretty good to me. If this weren't here, I'd be looking at Wolf Strike or Lantern Bearer. Probably Lantern Bearer. Neither of these would be an enormous addition to the deck after a Dreadface Demon, but we are happy to see a Parasitic Grasp here. And hopefully we can hook cut our neighbor in black, and then they just kind of get off of it here real quick. Immediately, things dry up for pretty much everyone. I mean, Cradle of Safety is situationally good. Falkenrath Celebrants is good. Gargantua and Mindleech Ghoul are fine. Gargantua being a little bit better. Blood Hypnotist is good in red-black, but that's about red-black aggressive decks, but that's about it. Paladin is only good if you know you're green-white, and Infantry is a fine 2-drop in white. I don't think I want to take like a Gargantua just to stay black here, because Celebrants is, well, usually I wouldn't want to do that, but with the card as powerful as Dreadface Demon, I think having just cutting black, and this card is maybe like a 5 out of 10, where this is a 7 out of 10 or a 6 and a 7, so it's not that much better to take Celebrants here and branch out of black this early if we don't need to. Now the only black card is Aim for the Head. See, this is what I was talking about. I feel like we say this every draft here at this point in the format, where black is just overdrafted. People just take all the black cards. So we're going to have to branch out here, and I think I want to take Siphon Essence. Don't want any of the green cards here. Magma Pummeler is meh. These are all aggressive white cards. Sanctify's unplayable. Cruel Witness. I think Siphon Essence has the highest upside if we go blue-black as like a blue-black control shell, so that we can get here. Maybe with a skeleton or a couple of undead butlers or something like that. But we'll go ahead and take the Essence, but I don't think we're married to blue-black. And here we go. Instantly no black cards. So Dig Up could be a tutor for Dreadface Demon, which could be really nice. There is a lot of good blue cards here, though, including Whispering Wizard, which I think I want to go ahead and take. This is also good with Dreadface Demon. If we take this plus a bunch of removal spells, we can get a bunch of 1/1s that eventually sacrifice to the Dreadface Demon. Wouldn't mind wheeling a Syncopator or Scattered Thoughts here, but again, already no black. Now there's some black, but there's also a 6th pick Dormant Grove, which is kind of crazy. But there is Edgar's Awakening. This is really tough. Because Edgar's Awakening goes so well with Dreadfeast Demon. If we can get some blood to pitch this early and then find Edgar's Awakening or already have it in our hand, we can have a turn 5 Dreadfeast Demon, which is kind of insane. But green looks to be wide open right now. So I'm not exactly sure which one to go with here. This is difficult. Edgar's Awakening keeps us black, but Dormant Grove, this is probably one of the best uncommons in the set. And because this and Wolf Striker in the pack, I think I'm going to take Dormant Grove and see if green is still going to be open for us. Now there's Scattered Thoughts, Ceremonial Knife, Sporeback Wolf, Specimen, Epicure. Not exactly sure what to take here. I think we can go with either Specimen or Wolf. Scattered Thoughts goes into the blue-black a little bit more. I don't think we're going to miss a Specimen or a Wolf. We'll have access to get those a little bit later if we want. And I think Scattered Thoughts is something that this kind of blue-black deck would want a copy of. So we'll take that here. Don't care about Catgeist in this kind of deck, or Ambush, or Entomber, really. There's a Snarling Wolf, but that's still meh. There's a Vampire's Kiss. We don't really want that. I guess I don't think we're going to play any of these blue cards in a blue-black deck. So I think we'll just take the Wolf, but probably not play it. There's a Wretched Throng, which is good sacrifice for the demon. If we get multiples, it goes in blue-black, trade's fine. Get some exploit with like the Gargantua and be fine there too. So we'll take our first Wretched Throng here. There is a Ripsaw. So in green-black, we could go with Ripsaw, which is a very powerful card to see this late. Stitched Assistant, I don't think is something we're going to miss if we go blue-black. Don't think any of these cards will make our deck in blue-black. So we'll just put one in the sideboard. I'm going to go ahead and rare draft here because none of these cards matter for us. None of these cards matter for us either. And the last pick, Wretched Throng. That's good. And, wow. Okay. We're going to take Henrika. So now we have a Mythic Rare 4-drop in black and a basically Mythic Rare 7-drop in black. So, yeah, we're going to take Henrika and be totally fine with that. We see a Ripsaw. We see Scavenger. There's also Drake, Lantern Bearer. So we haven't figured out a second color yet, but we are totally happy with taking Henrika here and not turning back on black. We only have 4 black cards, but we are keeping them all. And even if that's all the black we play, that's all the black we play. Okay, so between green and blue here, the only blue is Scob, and I don't think that's something we want. We don't want either of these black cards, so would we play a second Ripsaw? Probably not, considering there's this one and there's the one in the last pack that could come around as well. Could take Massive Might and just hope we get past like some Hookhand Mariners, things like that. I think we'll go ahead and take Massive Might here. So there's Innocent Traveler, Blood Fountain, Flourishing Hunter. I do want a Flourishing Hunter, I think, but I think I'm going to take this first Blood Fountain. With these 2 cards, if they get into our graveyard in any way, having access to a Blood Fountain is going to be super important. We definitely want to make sure we secure a Blood Fountain before it goes through our fingers here. Now there's no green, but there is a Syncopate, there's a Specimen, and another Blood Fountain. Do we want another Blood Fountain? Not sure about that. We do have 2 Wretched Throngs for the blue-black kind of deck. So what are we giving up on? Right now we have kind of Whispering Wizard to go with blue and Dormant Grove to go with green. So I think we're leaning a little bit more blue than we are green. And I don't know if we want 2 Blood Fountains or even 1 Specimen at this point. So we'll take the Syncopate here and then really start to get cut off of all of our colors. Red is wide open from this side, but we're way past being able to play red. So Monstrosity, no. Vampire's Kiss, no. Second Massive Might, I guess. Don't want Skulking Killer. I mean, maybe we take a Vampire's Kiss as a way to like kind of stabilize a little bit, create some blood to get us to certain places, but I don't even know here. I don't think any of these cards are making our deck. Late Traveling Minister. There's a Cruel Witness. Currently we have 7 non-creatures, which is good. Don't think we need a second Gargantua in this deck, and I think we'll go ahead and take this Cruel Witness here. So this is a Drake and a Specimen. Those are the cards for us. If we go blue-black, we don't have any ways to target the Drake currently. So it's just a 2-mana, 2/1 flyer. There's also the Specimen, which right now works with just Rot-Tide Gargantua and Dreadfeast Demon. I guess we'll take the Drake in the event that we do find something to target with it, but otherwise, we'll see. I think we could just take an Evolving Wilds here to shore up the mana. And while we are leaning blue-black at this point, well, here's Lantern Bearer, so that's great to see. Definitely love to see Lantern Bearer here, and I think that might secure us in blue-black, but we'll have to see what we open in pack 3 to really secure that for us. None of these really matter. Guess we can just take Crushing Canopy. None of these really matter. See, red is still wide open here, but again, too late for us. And one last pick. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 green cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blue cards. So pretty sure we're blue-black, but if we open something like, I can't even remember the name of it, that hexproof mythic rare in green, like that 6-mana 4/4 hexproof thing, then I think we can switch back to green-black and be fine. But right now we're leaning blue-black, so. All right, so didn't open any of that, so we won't be taking this. We'll be here on Traveler or Scavenger. I think we're just going to take the Diagraph Scavenger here. Yeah, seems good here. Gives us a little bit of stabilization, can trade with anything, helps us get toward Dreadfeast Demon. So happy to take a Scavenger. Now we have a Mind Leech Ghoul, and that's it. Or Lantern Bearer. I think we'll take the Lantern Bearer. And I think we're locking in blue-black at this point. So we'll get rid of these green cards here. Maybe Dormant Grove is worth a splash? It's an interesting concept. It very well could be. I think if this comes back, we can consider splashing it. And even if it doesn't, there's an Honored Heirloom here. We'll see if we can pick up, because we do have an Evolving Wilds. We'll see if we can pick up the fixing to splash a Dormant Grove. I think that might be worth it, depending on what our creature count ends up being. Gosh, here's another one. Another card that could help us splash it. Now we have 2 chances for a rare land or wheel. There's a chance people are just going to rare draft these. So they may not come around to us. But we'll take Lantern Bearer here. 3 Lantern Bearers does go well with Stormchaser Drake in the event that they get in our graveyard. There's another Cruel Witness. We're lacking a bit at 3 drops, but this isn't the one we want. So let's take Lantern Bearer and then see if we can wheel a couple of those lands to find a way to fit Dormant Grove into the deck. So we have 4 instants. It's not very many. So here we've got a 3rd Wretched Throng, got a 2nd Scattered Thoughts, a Specimen. I think we'll take our 3rd Wretched Throng. Maybe we can find another way to exploit it here, but definitely need, probably 3 is the magic number to consider playing these. So I think we have to make sure we secure this one. Screaming Swarm is going to be really good. Yeah, we have a decent amount of top end, including a lot of these 4 drops here, but Screaming Swarm is a great win con for this deck, even if we can't find Demon. So we will snatch up the Screaming Swarm. Now we've got another Cruel Witness, I guess. Yeah, none of the other stuff we're not. There's a Stitched Assist, and we talked about 3 Lantern Bearers, and we are lacking in the 3-drop slot. So actually, I'm going to take this. I think we can play it. because of that. Now we've got Siphon Essence versus a 4th Wretched Throng or a Grisly Ritual. This one's tough. I think we're going to go with the 4th Wretched Throng over the 2nd Siphon Essence, which could be wrong. I wouldn't fault you for going with this here, but worst case, with 4 of these, we can just chump with them to save some damage to make sure we can get to a lot of our rares here. Now we've got Binding Geist, Fear of Death, Geistlight Snare, Cruel Witness. I think we'll take Binding Geist. It's a fine way to trade and then kind of decrease the power of one of their creatures on the backside. So let's take Binding Geist. It's another 3-drop to fill out that slot for us. Another Blood Fountain. Don't know if we'll play it, but we can take it here. Did not wheel either of the lands, unfortunately. So don't think we'll be able to splash this Dormant Grove with off of just 1 Evolving Wilds. But at least we tried. If people didn't rare draft and just took the cards best for their deck, those lands likely would have made it back around to us. There is a Specimen. Now that we have a Stitched Assistant and a Gargantua, might be able to play one. Don't think we're playing either of these cards, but who knows. And then Reckless Impulse. Whatever. Okay, so we've currently got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 non-creatures. We are lacking in the removal department heavily, so we need to keep Siphon Essence and Syncopate in here. We have a lot of creatures, which is good. We have like a ton of sacrifice fodder, so I don't even think we need this Specimen, to be honest. Skywarp Scob is actually going to be pretty good in this deck now that we have this many creatures. I didn't even realize we had this many. And then it's between maybe a 2nd Blood Fountain. Well, with this many creatures, 2 Blood Fountains actually pretty good. Whispering Wizard has 6 targets, 7, 8, 9, 10. Has 10 triggers. I think that's okay to play it. And then we have these top end creatures that are going to help us win the game there. So 2 Blood Fountains or 1. We're cutting a Scattered Thoughts, I guess. I think I'd rather cut the Scattered Thoughts because this is more interactive and getting creatures back on the field, which is what we want to be doing. So I think we can run it like this. I think we'll keep it at 8 and 8 because even though most of our early drops are blue, our best cards are double black. So we want to make sure we at least have the black to cast those cards. All right. Let's see if this one can perform as well as the last Dread Feast Demon deck did. Awesome. So as we get into the first match here, don't forget that here at Daily Draft, we make sure that we post each and every draft we record, win or lose. Some of the drafts don't go as well as others, but some of them do, obviously. But I think there's value in learning from certain mistakes and certain underperforming decks that look to be pretty good. So we're here to make sure that everyone can learn at least something from every video on the channel. All right, so we're first. We got Blood Fountain into Wretched Throng into Syncopate. Pretty good. That's a good one. So we don't want to be trading 2 for 3 here, so we're just going to go ahead and pass. No need to attack. Because then they could just attack us back for 3. And I don't think we're in the business of running that race. That has the potential to be pretty bad. And for using our mana here, I'm just going to go ahead and counter it. So we'll send that to the exile zone and see if they want to attack. Didn't think so. Okay, so now we've got Henrika, and we got a way to get her back if they choose to kill it. So we'll just go ahead and play Henrika. And I think we could also just have each player sack a creature. Pretty good for us. Take action, get another one. There we go. Hopefully no bleed dry. Okay. Another black is not the greatest. So we can go to combat and draw a card. Blue is pretty good. Guess we can get in there. Now we can go Throng and Lantern Bear and get rid of the swamp. So if we can send this Throng to the graveyard, Scob is going to be very good in drawing us a card by exiling both of them. Alright, so they have a 3/3. So we'll get rid of this swamp here. And an island. And a Lantern Bearer. Okay. So we could just play a 2/5 flyer, but we're not getting value out of that. We could just dump our hand here, which I think could be pretty good. So let's have her transform. We'll get in there with these two. I think we can just dump our hand. I know we're not getting the value out of the Scob here, but it is a flyer that's going to be difficult for them to deal with. So. Point of discussion is fine. We'll trade here. Okay, that's fine too. I mean, it's not fine, but it is what it is. So we'll take action and get another one. We currently have exactly lethal if they don't kill a creature. By pumping Henrika twice. Oh, well, they saw it. They saw the lethal. There we go. Alright, on the play again. We will keep. Not exactly sure what to grab with this Evolving Wilds. If we want to get a black for a cleaved Parasitic Grasp. Or a blue to play Cruel Witness. I think we're going to get the black because that's sooner. That's difficult though. Not exactly sure what to get there. Well, instantly punished. Should have got the blue. Oh well. You can't know that before doing it though, so oh well. Okay. Turn 4 Henrika is going to be good, though. We'll get in with Wretched Throng, go to damage. They could have Flame Blessed Bolt, which would make Binding Geist pretty bad here, but if we hold this up and they don't play a target, They have to play a 3-drop, right? And this will get bolted at some point anyway, so let's just actually just play this. Make sure we can get on the board. Hopefully they don't bolt it. Good. All 3 colors. Catapult fodder completely stonewalls our board. So now we will Henrika and do the same thing we did last game and have each player sack a creature. There we go. And then we will take action, get another, and get in for 3. It's pretty good. Main deck Crushing Canopy. We'll go Throng, hold up Grasp, so that next turn we can play Gargantua if we need to. We could also just keep the Grasp and then play the Gargantua and make them sack the Spore Crawler, but I'm gonna go ahead and just cleave this now. So we can play Cruel Witness, and then the next turn we could play... There we go, perfect draw. Play Cruel Witness, we'll play Blood Fountain, get that trigger. I think we can keep that. Don't see why not. And then we'll put them to 7. Ah, brutal. Okay, so they'll get rid of our Henrika, I'm sure. And then we can get them down to 3 here. So let's play Gargantua. We will exploit that, make them sacrifice, take action, get another one, and looks like too much value. Okay. 2-0 here. We'll keep this one. Lantern Bearer into Wretched Throng. Seems good to me. Oh, darn. They got the bolt. Why do they always have the bolt? What else could they have? Is there another single red mana thing in here? Not sure. I feel like they would have used it on that, but maybe I'm wrong. Let's go Wretched Throng. And then attack here. Maybe they use it on the Throng. Who knows? There it is. An Epicure, okay. So we're going to hold up Siphon Essence here rather than play a single Blood Fountain. Offer the trade here for Recluse. They're going to turn this into a 3/3 because they're likely to use this. And I do want a creature in the yard in case we draw a land for Scavenger so we can get rid of it. I think we'll block there. So they're going to make a 3/3 by pitching something to their blood, and then hopefully they play a creature so we can actually use our mana. I didn't do anything. Okay. So then we'll play an island. And we'll just Scavenger here. They're likely to kill it with something, but again, we need to use our mana, so... Here comes the Abrade. Our Bleed Dry is fine because we have better creatures we'd like to survive. There's a Socialite. So they waited. They played around our counter spell, obviously. So we're going to have to take 5 this next turn. Maybe 7. But here comes the wizard. We're getting a little choked on mana here. Our lack of removal is not working out in our favor. So, do we block this Recluse? I mean, fortunately, I think we kind of have to, because it's going to turn into a 3-3. We're taking 7. We're not going to attack. We're just going to take it again next turn. So, that won't really work out well for us. Not quite what we're looking for, but at least it blocks the Runebound Wolf. So, we'll do that. Play a Blood Fountain, and then we probably have to use that blood to find something. We'll see how their turn develops, though. Can't block that. So they must have a combat trick if they're coming in with the wolf. Wouldn't think they'd want to do that, but who knows. Okay. Yep. They are going to get an army of 3/2s here going now. Now they can ping us for 2. They can make a blood next turn, we just die, so... Sounds like a plan. We'll go ahead and get rid of Siphon Essence, because it's doing nothing for us. Not bad, not bad. So let's go... Probably could have attacked with this first, honestly. But we'll do this. We'll take action, we'll get another one. We'll scry. I think we need a land. It's the thing. So we'll keep that. We'll do this, and then we'll play a Wretched Throng. Next turn we have a 4/4, but they still have Menace Creature here. Or just they can ping us down. Yeah. So we're gonna go to 2. Oh, we're gonna die is what we're gonna do. Okay. Oh well. Well, I hate mulliganing, but I think this is a hand that we're going to have to do so. So 3, 4, 5, 5, 7, that's not going to get the job done. This one has the opportunity to be worse. So, it's not the one I dragged. I dragged a Wretched Throng. Thank you. We'll get rid of that, and then we'll see if we can draw our way out of this with the blue. And if not, then we're going to go on to match 4. Or 5, I mean. This is 4. Okay, that's awkward. Can I interest you in a blue 6-drop? Alright. Does it turn into a human? Nope. Darn. So they'll hit us for 3. Blue. Never didn't have it. So we could go Stitched Assistant onto an empty board, but I'd rather go one of these two and then use this next turn. So let's be more mana efficient with the Wretched Throng here. And then ideally go Assistant next turn. Sacrificing that. Nope. Never mind. And Blood Petal Celebrant, okay. We have Siphon Essence or Parasitic Grasp. I think we're just going to have to hold up one of those. Found their splash here. Dying to Serve could get really out of hand. Maybe they have a creature that we could, but let's go ahead and just do this. As much as I'd rather use it on something more important, we'll go ahead and do that. They do get a blood. And we'll miss another land drop. So, yeah, we're just gonna hold up Siphon Essence. Which sucks because they can just get value and get creatures without casting them. But I don't want to just play a 1/1 because then that's not going to do anything either. Alright, yep, make it 2/2, make it 3/3. Hit us for 3. Play a creature? Yeah, at least it's something. Alright. So we can go Lantern Bearer into Stitched Assistant, or we can just go Scavenger, getting rid of something. I'd like to hit a 5th land drop and a 6th one if I can. So I'm going to do it this way. Another Lantern Bearer. That doesn't really do it for me. Although we do have a blood we can use to pitch this one next turn, but then we're banking on drawing another land, and if we don't, then we're screwed. So I'm just going to go ahead and bottom that. Drake is not really it. Point of discussion, okay. Do we block their random 2/2? No, because we have a Scavenger coming or a Gargantua coming. Okay. Decent. We would just play a 5-mana 4/4 or 5-mana 5/4, I guess. I think I'm going to hold this back to threaten to block on their Statuette because they can do that next turn. Because if we play this and then they kill it, then we want to be able to try to block that. We could also just try to race a little bit. I think we could win this race if we kind of draw well enough. So I'm actually going to go ahead and attack, now that I think about it. And I think we're going to play just a 5-mana 5/4. Hopefully they don't kill it. They have all of the fixing here. Speak of the devil, they will kill it. And then a guess, okay? Alright, so we got 6 mana. I think we just have to play Screaming Swarm here. Get that going. And then we are no longer in the business of racing. That'll die too. Playing against Mardu Removal. Yeah, their deck's pretty good with Dying to Serve and then just all of the removal. I mean, their creatures haven't been great, but it doesn't really matter. Because they can just make an army of them. So we're probably going to have to block the... I don't even know what we're going to block here. Probably the Statuette. Well, this gives them recurable blood, although they're still going to make a blood off of this is the problem. Oh well. Yeah, I think this one got away from us a little bit. Oh, so they get to go in anyway, so. Okay. Yeah, I think we're just dead. So we go to 4. Play this. We'll go ahead and exile something. Get rid of that. And then we'll just play this, I guess, just to block. I think we can go to 1 here. And then die next turn. Alright, they'll get in with everything. We'll block here and here and go to 1. Or we'll die with another Sure Strike. Okay. Well, we never stood a chance there anyway. So, they had too good of an aggressive draw. Dying to serve gave them too much value, so. Alright, well it's slow, but we have a chance to draw out of it pretty easily here with a couple of Wretched Throngs or 2 or 3 drops. So, we'll keep it. Turn 1 Blood Fountain. We can even use the blood on turn 2 if we need to. Okay. So we're just going to get curved out on by a green-red deck here, probably. After we draw 7 drop, 6 drop. Okay, pass the turn. Okay, so it looks like they might be missing a land drop here. They will, but not much we can even do about it. So let's get rid of a swamp, because we need to draw at least an island to be able to cast a creature. Parasitic Grasp does do something. That is a human. So we can play Blood Fountain and grasp that. We can hold up Siphon Essence. I think we want to grasp that. Let's just do that now. And then we still need to find a blue to get off to the races here, although these are so far away against an aggressive deck. Even though they're missing lands, we're not doing much about it is the problem. There's the blue, thank God. So let's just play this. See where we can go from there. So they found their land. Will not block. Spore Crawler. So Wretched Throng means we can't counter. But I'd rather get a creature down. Then we'll pass. Makes sense. We'll go to blockers and block here. They'll use Massive Might, get through it probably. Nope, okay. Pass to damage. And resolves. Alright, hopefully no Ballista Watcher or something like that. Okay. And then a 2-drop. Another Disciple. Alright. Do we get rid of something in hand? I don't know how good Screaming Swarm is going to be in this matchup. It's just going to be a 6-mana blocker. So I think I actually want to get rid of that. Find a Lantern Bearer and a land. So we can go land, Throng, hold up Siphon Essence, I guess. Let's do that. I'm going to keep back the Cruel Witness, I think. Because our way of winning this game is stabilizing with a Dreadfeast Demon, basically. So they have a 6 mana now. See what they want to spend it on. It has Menace. It's not their best creature. They knew we probably knew we had a counterspell, but I'd prefer to play it. I think we need to keep lands. Because we need to get to 7. Green-red is a great deck to land a Dreadfeast Demon on because they only have damage-based removal usually. And there's no damage-based removal that deals 6 in this format. So they would have to like hope we block with it and then they can Wolf Strike it down or something like that. Okay. So our Blood Fountains are getting worse here because of their Honored Heirloom, but can't really do much about that. So I'm going to play this land because we need to get there, and I think I'm actually going to pitch the Lantern Bearer so that we can get another shot at a land next turn and we can get another trigger off of this. Henrika. I want to make sure we get value out of this so they don't heirloom it. Let's give it to the Cruel Witness. That kind of stonewalls their board here. We can put that one to the graveyard. I know they can get the heirloom off of it, but we want to find our 7th land very badly. So we need to put that in the graveyard. And then no attack. So I know they're going to heirloom away our Lantern Bearer. But again, we need our 7th land. That's a little disturbing over here. Look at that. Little stinky dog, apparently. Okay, 3/3, 2/6. That's okay for now, because just Defender. They'll get rid of our Lantern Bearer like we thought. And then no attacks. Alright, see if we can get that land. Nope. Alright, so do we get Henrika going? Let's get Henrika going, and I think we can draw a card first. Try to see if we can find that land. There it is. So next turn we'll have it. So let's see here. Okay, that doesn't bother me. Alright, so now they have a trick. They have to, if they're doing it this way. And I'm going to make them use it here, because we want to keep the Wretched Throng around as sacrifice fodder here. So I'm going to make them use their trick. Okay. Interesting way to use that. Guess they just wanted to get rid of Henrika. That makes sense, I guess. They're going to pump their wolf, likely. Because they don't have anything else to do. And then throw away to the Disciple. Alright. And here we go. Yeah, we don't need to attack with the Witness in the event that they draw a removal spell. And let's see if we can survive at least a turn here. We do currently have 18 damage on the board. No, 16. Okay. The main deck Honored Heirloom making these Blood Fountains look a lot worse. They're going to make a 6/6. But we can... Do we have 2 in the yard right now? We do. So we can draw a card off of Scob, which is going to be good. So we'll go Wretched Throng. And Skywarp Scob. Get that card right now. Okay. And then... I think we can go... here because we're going to have 3 6/6s on the back, which we're going to have to block with one of them. We could also just do this and then sacrifice this one. Yeah. Again, that we're the way we're losing this game is overextending. So we're just going to make sure we don't do that. Did we cast 2 spells this turn? Yes, we did. We cast the Scob and this. So this isn't even flipping. Or this will flip back to a defender. And then we can sacrifice this one. And there we go. That should do it. Awesome. Dreadfeast Demon for the win. Alright, so we're on the play. Obviously need a blue, but we do have a blood fountain that makes a blood. So we can try to find a blue with the blood that we get. Probably pitching Lantern Bearer just to get the extra value out of the graveyard. So let's do that now and see if we can find the blue. Not what I meant by finding a blue. So now we're kind of in trouble. Never didn't have it. So do we go Drake or Throng or hold up Syncopate? I think we just got to get something on the board here. And I'd rather go Throng so that next turn if we do draw a land, we can do the Henrika sack a creature thing. If they play one. Okay. Not a land. And we can't attack. So we'll go Drake. No attacks. Then next turn, if we don't draw a land again, we can go Lantern Bearer, put it on here, and then draw a land. Hopefully. Okay, Griff Rider. There's the land. So let's go Henrika. Make them sack a creature. We'll take action here. And do we want to trade? I mean, I think I'm fine trading, to be honest. We don't have a lot of ways to target this. So we'll just get in there for 2. That's not good. Okay, so Imprisonment. At least we still get to draw a card here. We can also sacrifice it with the Gargantua, which will be good. So let's go ahead, go to combat, draw a card, no land, get in. Then we can go Throng, which isn't great. We can go Binding Geist, which is equally not great. Throng at least lets us hold up Syncopate for 1, so that's what I'm going to do. But really doesn't feel great when you're missing land drops. So are they going to exile it? Just make sure they get rid of it. They won't. And they ran right into our Syncopate. Awesome. Can't block the Griff Rider. Land. No. Okay, so we can Lantern Bearer up this to try to draw a card. We could just play a 3/1. We can Lantern Bearer up the Throng to get in for more damage. Let's try to draw this card here. Okay, that's good. Play our land here. We'll transform her, not that it does anything right now, and then we'll get in. So next turn we can Gargantua sacrifice this. Make sure it gets to the graveyard. Oh, well, they'll give us the value of being able to play another Wretched Throng. Sounds good to me. So they're really thinking about using that exile clause on Sigarda's Imprisonment here to get rid of this, so we can't get it back at some point, because there is a chance could we have exploit creatures on our deck, which we do. But let's see if they want to use this or not. Okay, so they're just going to use it now. That's fair. I mean, makes sense that they would do it that way, but now we get to get rid of their Griff Rider by getting another Wretched Throng. Still missing lands, unfortunately. So let's play this. We'll exploit this here. And get our last one. We have a lot of action in our hand, but not a lot of lands to do everything we want. So they'll pitch the Heron Blessed Geist. They can't make the 1/1s yet. Sigarda's Imprisonment would be bad for us because that would make them make the 1/1s and remove our creature. Okay. And a Griff Rider. So both of those kind of stop our board, unfortunately. But we are one closer to a Dreadfeast Demon now, so I think I just want to kind of drop my hand and prepare for that. Well, I can't even do that because we only have 2 blue here. We have 3 creatures in the yard, so this could draw us a card, and it gets us closer to Dreadfeast Demon next turn. So I'm actually going to do that. Get that card, see if we can have 2 shots at a land. Not quite. And for the reason of Dreadfeast Demon, I think I'm going to hold off on attacking here, because we have a good blocks. Okay, so that has the ability to be a problem, although we can grasp that next turn with 2 mana. And if they give it +2/+2, then it is a problem here. Do they have a trick? Well, we can still block it to prevent 4 damage. So we'll do that. I know they gain 4. And the Heron of Hope. Okay. There's our land. So we could go Dreadfeast Demon right now, but I want to get this off the board. So we're going to have to go 1, 2... We can do this. Then we still have a bunch more creatures to play here, so we can go Binding Geist and Wretched Throng, and then next turn we kind of just set up the win. So we can get in there with this one, at the very least. So 1 attacker. And then Dreadfeast Demon will come down next turn and really start to go to town. Okay. Fine by me. It gets lifelink. We can still block it. And we can trade with the Griff Rider now too. We could also just trade here. Drake for Heron, which seems fine to me as well. Okay, so they train. They're still getting priority, but it could just be another lifelink priority, so we'll try to trade here. And hopefully they don't have, like, Adamant Will or something. That works for me. Now they can't even use their Heron Blessed Geist, so here we go. Awesome. That works. Alright, well this is certainly awkward. We have 3/2 drops, but we don't want them all in the same hand by any means. I think I'm willing to mulligan that. And this will work better. I think we'll keep 6. Put back an island, I think, so we can make sure we have 2 swamps for a Dreadfeast Demon, or if we draw Henrika or something like that. Binding Geist is a good draw. Gives us 2-drop, 3-drop here. Hopefully no Flame Blessed Bolt. If they had it, they didn't want to use it, so let's see here. Okay. Can't block, and we won't be blocking with this, so we'll get in and play Binding Geist. Now we're at that awkward point of this kind of hand of wanting to draw lands to get towards these creatures, but lands do not help us progress our board. So we can kind of draw an island, and then we'll see from there, but who knows? Okay, that's a good blocker on this board. Siphon Essence is a decent enough draw. So we could attack, they could bounce this and take 2, and then we'd take it 4 on the backswing, so don't think it's worth attacking. I don't know how good Screaming Swarm actually is in this deck, because we're not winning through attacking with flyers or milling them out. That's not our plan. We've won almost every single game by making sure we can survive to a Dreadfeast Demon. So I'm wondering if this is even good enough for this deck. Okay, won't block. Good Siphon Essence target. I think we actually might use this blood to get rid of Screaming Swarm to find another blue or be one closer to the demon. 2 cards that we can't cast is not what I had in mind. But it is an extra land here. So we'll get in here. And then end the turn. I don't think we want to put Screaming Swarm second from the top. Because we need a blue. We need 2 lands, really. Okay, so they'll hit us for 4. Resolves. I guess there was an argument to attacking with Geist last turn, because we kind of had an idea that they were going to do that, but it forced them to do that if they wanted to get through the Blood Hypnotist damage. Undead Butler, okay. So they can get back a Socialite or a Celebrance. It's pretty good. Now they could just do that without the Butler. Okay, at least it's something we can cast here. I think we'll get rid of Celebrance. And I don't think we want to be attacking with these 2 to let them trade for Butler. We can get back Socialite, which would be bad for us. Be totally fine trading either of these creatures for this Blood Hypnotist as well. Okay. I think we'll try and let it be this one. They could have a trick, but I don't know why they would attack with everything here. Maybe they... Yeah, I don't even know. I think all this is fine. Maybe they have a board wipe? Who knows? Sure Strike. Okay, that makes sense. At least we're able to trade with Blood Hypnotist. Still no second blue, so we'll play Whispering Wizard and then attack here. Probably should have attacked first, but oh well. Next turn we can get the trigger off of this if we don't draw another blue. And if we do draw blue, I'm going to be hard-pressed to not exile the Scavenger and the Screaming Swarm to try to get another shot for 7th land. To make sure we can play Dreadfeast Demon here. Okay, so they have a second red. They're a turn away from being able to cast anything from their graveyard after using Blood Fountain. So we have a buffer there. Wizard down. And now they can use Blood Fountain to return 2 creatures, and the next turn drop them. So we need a blue, and we need it fast. Speak of the devil. All right, let's do... let's first attack, because we're not blocking. Okay. We'll do Scob and get rid of our 2 other creatures here. Let's get rid of Wizard and Scavenger. Draw that card. Awkward. Okay. They'll get back their 2 creatures, which we expected, and if they have a land, they can play both of them. Okay, so they do have those 2 creatures. We need a land quickly. It's a little delayed, but maybe it'll work here. So let's get that 7th land for next turn. Then we can play Binding Geist on here, followed by Wretched Throng. And no attacks. And now we got to get through this turn here. So we still have 2 Throngs in the deck, which is good for Dreadfeast Demon. If they leave up 4 mana, which 2 is black in case they have Bleed Dry, I don't know if I'm going to play Demon. Because we definitely don't want that getting Bleed Dry. Okay, good. I'm fine with that. And if they attack with everything and hit us for... Okay. That will all work out just fine. Okay. No need to block. And we'll do our thing. Let the demons commence. They're just hovering over these like, come on, bro, why? All right, trying to find an answer here. We don't have lethal anymore now. At 13 and we're at 12 on attacks, so. All right, opponent, just staring at him is not going to change anything. You got to do something about it. That won't do it. Okay, so let's start by going with a Stitched Assistant, sacrificing the Throng here. And getting another one. Don't need an island. Don't need an island. I thought I said that. Then we can play the island. Why not? And then go double Wretched Throng. We can get in for... again, we're not at any risk of hold on. We're not at any risk of not being able to close out this game, so there's no reason to overextend here. Because something they could do is play this Blood Hypnotist and then sacrifice a blood, make one of these unable to block, and then they have 2 menace creatures. They'll drain us for 1. There's a chance they could kind of piece something together to win if we would have attacked with 1 or 2 of them, so there's no need to do that. Looks like they're just kind of roping us here. Okay. Yeah, they're just roping us. Alright, so when they do finally let us have another turn, we'll go ahead and win here. But unfortunately, we got a little bit of BM on the other side of the battlefield here. And there we go. Alright, so we are 5-2 here, heading into round 8, and it's a little slow of a hand, but I think we'll go ahead and keep it here. Worst case, we have a turn 4 Henrika, and we have 4 Wretched Throngs we could find between now and then, which we know is a great combo with this. I think we can use this now, getting rid of one of these in the event that we find maybe a Lantern Bearer or something. Okay, so there's the Wretched Throng that we will happily play next turn right before Henrika, making them sacrifice a creature. So let's play Wretched Throng. They're not getting priority, and they still weren't, so they don't have removal or a counterspell. Play creature. There we go. Well, not going to get the greatest of value there, but it'll be something. Okay, Flame Blessed Bolt would be good for this, but we're not going to give them that opportunity yet. So we'll have each player sacrifice a creature here. And we'll get another one. Prior to drawing this one, I think in 8 games this draft, we had not done the annoying thing of drawing all of our throngs and not being able to get the value off of them. So this was like the first one that we actually drew in the entire draft, except for the first one each game. We kind of got every single other one out, so that's been nice. We're gonna have to try to make something, or we can, if we ever play this wizard, as long as we know they have this, we're gonna try to do this and something else in the same turn, so that we can get value out of that. We could also just try to, let's see, Lantern Bearer. They're probably going to use this on a Lantern Bearer. Maybe they would use it on a Throng here. But let's try to draw a card first. See what we get. Gargantua. That'll be good even if they use Bolt on one of these. But we do need a land next turn. So we'll get in there. They need to be a little bit better with their priority here. So we'll play double Throng, and maybe they remove one of them, but I think that'll be all right. Because we'd rather them use that on a Throng than a Whispering Wizard or even a Lantern Bearer. So maybe they don't even choose to use it. Who knows? Okay, they do. Good. So we got that out of their hand. Okay, we will happily trade here. Even though I know we said we can get the value out of that, but we'll go and get another one. Scob. All right. So we can kick or cleave this after this transforms and hits that to kill that. Which would mean we could go Throng plus this. Let's have her transform and get in there. Oh, they're not even going to let us, they're not even going to block. Oh, it has Death Touch now too, that's why. Okay. Seems good. So now we could go Wizard plus Lantern Bearer, setting up Parasitic Grasp next turn. They're probably going to kill the Wizard, but then we can do Gargantua next turn. So we'll do that and hope they don't have another Flame Blessed Bolt for that Wizard, so they get a ton of mana advantage. Hopefully they don't have Exploit now. I feel like they wouldn't be playing that card unless they did. So that won't be great for us. Another Stitched Assistant, maybe? At least we do have the ability to get it back if they do exploit it. There it is. Okay, so now we can play Gargantua, sacrifice Lantern Bearer, make them kill something. I think that's what we'll go ahead and do. We're going to attack with it first. Give ourselves a 5/4. Okay. Fine enough trade for us. Alright, usually a pretty good card, but on this board doesn't do a ton. Don't care about that. Alright, so what we can do is we can play Lantern Bearer here. Holding up Syncopate for 1. Gives us a wizard. We could also just play Wretched Throng, holding up a cleaved Parasitic Grasp and a Syncopate, which you might like a little better. Because I think I want to kill this prior to combat if they give us that opportunity. So let's attack here first. Rending Flame. So we can syncopate that for 1 here. That'll work. And then on upkeep, or right before combat, we can kill this suitor. With the cleaved Parasitic Grasp, get another 1/1. End turn. I know they could have a counterspell for this now, but we do get the trigger off of that. At the very least. Okay, so it did work. Wandering Mind is fine. That's not. They likely have a lot more exploit in their deck. So let's get another 1/1 by giving flying to this. And then we'll get in with the 6/5 here. Trying to preserve some life. I bet they have another exploit coming. So we'll just dump our hand, and worst case, we can chump this with one of our 1/1s when they steal it. We don't even have to necessarily. We'll see. Yeah, so the fact that they didn't pitch this to blood makes me think they have an exploit creature. Geralf and Ilton. That's quite the flip, is it not? Okay. Now everything has flying. We can return Henrika and a Wretched Throng. Let's see if they let us, or if anything dies here first. So we've used up all of our Throngs here. This will be a good combo with Scob next turn. They can sacrifice this, makes a 5/5 flyer. Okay. Resolve, they'll get another one. And then we could use this now, get back Henrika and a Wretched Throng, and then play the Throng, but that Wretched Throng is not doing a lot on this board. Oh, they didn't even do it. So in the event that they like steal this and sacrifice it, I'd be willing to wait till the end of their turn. Just in case we can get better value out of that. But they're highly incentivized to play this loner because it'll go away. So they're definitely going to be playing that loner. So I think we might just be able to do that now, actually. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and crack this, get back Henrika and a Wretched Throng. Then we can play the Throng. And now we're kind of going pretty wide here. They are going to steal and sack it. Okay, so they were waiting for us to use the Blood Fountain. But they're giving up on Ill-Tempered Loner by doing that, which is interesting. I think we could just jump here. It gives us another trigger on the backside. So they'll sack that, but they're going to get rid of their Loner to do so. Unless they have another land. They do not have the land. Okay, so they got rid of their Loner, which is good news for us. They do have a 5/5 flyer, though. So we'll play this land. Then we can play Henrika. And then we're going to make them sacrifice something relevant here. I think we're actually going to get rid of a Throng. I know we can't find another one. Well, no, we're going to get rid of a 1/1. This could represent more damage. Okay, so are we willing to throw away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for 6 damage? Throw away the wizard? I don't think we are. Not yet, at the very least. So no attacks. And end the turn. I know by not playing this bearer, we are forecasting Siphon Essence, but there's nothing really good to play this on right now. They have a fun little blue-red deck here between all these. That'll be great to Siphon Essence. Between all these Bloody Betrayals and Sack Outlets. Okay, don't need that. Also don't need that. So let's go to combat. I guess we could Lantern Bear up one of these, get another 1/1, and then we have a bunch of flyers still. And then the following turn, once we transform this, she can start using her pump ability there to really get in with everything. But let's first go to combat and draw a card. Okay, that's really good news for us. So no attacks. So I think we can actually go ahead and Blood Fountain. Get that 1/1. We could return Rottide Gargantua. But I think I want to try to save it if we can. If Henrika were to die. So we'll use this blood to get rid of this land. Find a Binding Geist. Might just be worth playing because we're getting really close to being able to kill them. So I think I am just going to play it here. Okay, that's fine with me. Means they're searching for something here. Put 2 lands, so they're not even guaranteed to have drawn 2 non-lands. Raconteur. It's okay. Another land. So do we have lethal if they don't have anything here? We do if we play Lantern Bearer, very likely. So this is going to give +1/+0 to all of our flyers. So we attack with a 3/4 and a 3/1. So it'd be a 4/4, a 4/1, and 4 2/2s. So that's 16 damage, and they can block 8 of it. So they're not dead. And Henrika might die. But we can Blood Fountain her back, I think. Let's do this. And then go to combat. We'll transform her. Now, if we attack with her, they're very likely to block here and here, but we can get her back. And we might just have lethal if we attack with everything. Let's see. Here, 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 and they would take 8, 9, 10, so that we do not have lethal. So I don't think we can go in with everything here. So we'll get in like this. And then give this -2/-0. They're going to trade. Very likely. And jump. They can also make another 4/4 flyer, I guess. But that's okay. Okay, so they'll make a 3/3 flyer. That makes sense. It still uses it to trade, so we can deal 8 to them right now if we wanted to, but I don't think we need to do that, so we can use this to get it back. So we're just going to let that happen. And then we'll go ahead and get her back. Along with the Gargantua here. And there we go. Now let's see if we can stabilize after this. Hopefully they don't have counter spells, but we shall see. Okay, don't care about that. Might care about that? I don't know, we'll see. That makes sense. So next turn they can use that on Geralf. What happens if we played Henrika? So we have 8 mana. If we played Henrika, we'd have 4 left over. We could flip her, hit them for 8. They can block 3 creatures here. So they would block one of these for sure, take 8 here, block that, and then die. Yeah, so they would technically be dead. Sacrifice another non-token creature. That doesn't matter. Okay. So I think we have it. Because they can block this one, they can block this one, they can block this one, then they take 8, 9, 10. So we should be able to have it here. We'll transform her. We'll get in. They'll block there. They'll block there. They'll block one of the flyers. All as expected. And we will pump the rest of them. It should be 10. Cool. Looks like we got there. Gotta look for those unique lines. Okay, last match, 6-2, win or lose. Obviously need some black to make this hand tick, but we have two cards we can play, and now we at least have a non-cleaved Parasitic Grasp we can cast. Infantry should be okay as long as we can keep this Wretched Throng alive. Cool. We'll attack here. Now we have Syncopate up. Okay, still nothing. We're drawing nothing but blue here. Okay, cool with that. We'll end the turn. We don't need to put this on the back of that because it still trades. Don't care about that. Well, I do care about it, but... Okay, so are they going to counter a Skywarp Scop? I mean, clearly they have a counterspell here, but we're in no rush to try to play that right now. We're under no pressure. So we have to make sure that our things resolve here. Okay, so we're just playing this whole counterspell war now. Still don't need to. Don't care about that one. There's a black, and we obviously can't play Dreadfeast Demon into all this counterspell mana. So I'm also going to hold off on playing Scob until we can hold up Siphon Essence and Scob. So we'll just let it go back here. We would love for Scob to be the thing that draws a counterspell out from them, but maybe they'll be too smart. Okay. So let's play Wretched Throng number 2. And get in there with Wretched Throng number 1. Probably should have attacked with that first, but a little loose. Okay, so if we cleave this, they can syncopate for x equals 2 here. So we would like to cleave this to get rid of that. Maybe they counter it. We can syncopate for x equals 1. Okay, so that's not great news for us, but at least our Dreadfeast Demon is going to be more likely to come down here now. They could still have syncopate for 1. No, we need that around, so no blocks. So hopefully we draw land. Alright, so now we can cover a syncopate for 1. And they didn't even have it, so no blocks. Cool. We will search for a Wretched Throng. And now they have to have double removal, which I doubt they're going to have, but let's see. That doesn't do it. Okay. Now we can go Throng and hold up Syncopate. So they very clearly have Siphon Essence, and they didn't want to use it, and Dreadfeast Demon prevails once again. Alright, so by going 7-2 here in this draft, we got our lifetime record with Dreadfeast Demon up to 13-11. So if this is the last draft that we play with it, we finally got it to a winning record. Awesome, so don't forget to stick around to the end of the video to toggle through our Crimson Vow trophy playlist, or to find the last video in case you missed it. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you on Tuesday for your daily draft.